Ba-ba-ba-da-dum, ba-da-da-ba-ba-bum. Hey everyone, welcome back to Notes to Self. I'm Alex, obviously, because it's Notes to Self. It's not Who's Cast. So last time you guys tuned in, I kind of gave you a behind-the-scenes kind of look. And, I mean, that was cool, don't get me wrong. But I think I'm going to just talk a little bit broadly about some stuff that's going on, and we'll see where it goes. Excuse me. So at the time of recording, and by the time it actually goes up as well, which is only within, 24 hours, we are at the end of March, which this entire month you've seen we put up these podcasts alternating weeks. If you guys really enjoy this, we'll continue doing them. We plan on doing them for at least a little bit longer. But if you guys really enjoy these, we'll keep doing it, obviously. Another note, just note that April will be a busy month for us. There might be fewer videos in April, but keep an eye out in May and June. We will have more content going out. So apologies now if you plan on tuning in throughout April and there seems to be less stuff. It's only because we're trying to do a lot. Anyway, so since we last talked, and even when we last talked, I didn't really go into this because I had a different plan in mind. So Pokemon Sword and Shield was announced. And if you tuned into my second podcast, you would have noticed that I'm a big Pokemon fan. I love it. I'm actually kind of a walking encyclopedia of Pokemon information. But so that came out, and we had the reveal trailer, and we didn't really talk about it on the channel. And I kind of wanted to, but I was like, we'll talk about something else. So just in general, I want to say I'm really excited about the direction it seems to be going in. I like that we're getting our first main part of the series on a home console. We can count the Switch as a home console, not just a mobile. It'll be interesting. I'm excited to see where they go. I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with it. I don't know. Just something about this game feels different than what we've seen before. And considering Sun, Moon, Ultra Sun, and Ultra Moon really kind of changed the formula, I'm interested to see how they return to some of the classic formula, but change things up. So as we get closer to Sun and Moon and as more information comes out, look forward to not only my solo podcast, but we'll talk about it definitely on the channel at large as well, only because, it's something we'll be following. But on that note as well, so Andrew and I follow a lot of different video games, and we follow the trends and what's going on with some of our favorite series. So you might randomly hear us talk about a game we really like that either is getting a remaster or getting a sequel or any of those things. We tend to talk about that a lot, only because we love a wide range of games. But so ignoring all that, because that's not really important. I guess that was just a tangent note that doesn't really make any sense. But yeah, so the Instagram post and this video, you guys, not this one, but the last one that I did, you guys really responded well. And I had mentioned wanting to do some solo type videos, and I asked for your opinions and things like that. I mentioned mobile gaming, and I think by far my favorite comment was, please don't do it. I understand, reading through the actual whole comments, seeing that it was, that's Andrew's thing to do the mobile videos. I'm perfectly fine with that, and I understand that. I actually fully support that. So Andrew can do mobile game videos all he wants. But I did see one of the suggestions was kind of doing an educational mini video thing. And I actually think that's a good idea. So while March didn't really have the opportunity for me to do that, going into April, you will see a couple of those show up. They won't really go up on YouTube, unless you guys want more full in-depth ones, but mini short versions of, I guess, quote-unquote educational things in games that I could talk about. Those will go up on our mobile. Those will be on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and on our Tumblr. But other than those, pretty much look forward to some kind of educational gaming factoid, something. I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. I know one of the things I want to talk about is closely Pokemon related, and it's only because I was having this conversation with my girlfriend. For those of you that don't know, there are, now 8 generations of Pokemon, and every starter always, some have benefits, some don't. Well, we were talking about the worst starter ever, and it's not that the starter Pokemon's a bad one, but just look forward to that one. I'll give you a hint, it has something to do with Generation 2, which would be Chikorita, Totodile, and Cyndaquil. So, if you like Gold, Silver, and Crystal, or the remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver, or anything like that, tune in, keep watching the channel, keep watching our Instagram. You'll see a video posted about one of those starters. I'm not going to give it away, but if you know what it is, you don't really need to watch it. But if you don't, by all means, I'll tell you which one of those starters is the worst one in all Pokemon history. Okay, so that kind of covers that. Like I said, Sword and Shield, we won't hear more news for a while, so that's kind of down the pipeline. Know that, so Andrew recently got Super Mario Maker for the Wii U. I've had it for the 3DS for a while, but he has it for the Wii U, so you might see some arcade-style videos based off of some Mario Maker levels. So if you are a Mario Maker creator or something, and you've made a level on the Wii U and have uploaded it, by all means, feel free to send us your level code, and we will play it on the channel. And if it's completely impossible, you'll hear Andrew and I get frustrated with it. And if it's doable, you'll hear us talk about it and enjoy it. So, yeah, if you've done that, by all means, let us know. I will also let you know that I do have a Switch, and so I will be getting Mario Maker 2 when it comes out. So you can look forward to some of those things as we get closer. And we also have Smash Ultimate with the DLC Fighter Pass, so as the new fighters get released, we'll definitely have more videos of that kind of stuff. So, like I said, that's all stuff down the road. Don't worry about it now. Okay, so kind of in a weird thing, and I thought about it from Andrew's last 2 podcasts. I was thinking about games that aren't in existence yet, or games that should be made, and that kind of thing. And I've definitely have spent a lot of time, probably since high school, thinking about games that would be really cool to be made. And I will be completely honest, I have some crazy remaster ideas, some crazy different style games, and some games that are completely original that are weird and crazy, and I kind of love. So I figured just for the rest of this podcast, I would just kind of tell you guys some of my ideas for video games, only because I think they're kind of cool and weird. So first and foremost, one of my favorite game series I think needs a remaster and an update is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, and Knights of the Old Republic 2. I'd like to see both games fully fleshed out with all their original deleted content, fully featured, fixed up, all that stuff kind of brought into the modern era of graphics and gameplay. I do like the turn-based RPG thing. I'm a big fan of D&D, so is Andrew. But I kind of like the way that BioWare, who did the first Knights of the Old Republic, did Mass Effect. I really like how they did that. And I'd like to see that with the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic stuff. I'd like to see, if you have a blaster, it's like a first-person shooter. You can have the melee weapon, which is either the melee weapons or the lightsabers, the force powers being like how biotics was used in Mass Effect. There's a lot that they could really do with it. And I feel like much in the Mass Effect 2 style, if you complete loyalty or you talk to your squad mates, you get ship upgrades. I think the Ebon Hawk could use some upgrades as well that would still fit in the canon to make it the best smuggling vessel ever. But yeah, those are just kind of my side notes on that one. I really think Knights of the Old Republic deserves a remaster. Don't get me wrong, I think the MMO online, the Old Republic, that's cool. I'm not a fan of online MMOs, but I think it's really cool. So I'm not opposed to them continuing to work on that. But I'd like to see the original games, the original story-heavy, really got us invested into this. I want to see that redone. And I know Disney owning Star Wars was a big issue behind all that stuff, but it'd be cool to see a remaster of that. Sticking on the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, I'd like to see a Lego Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic game. I know I'm weird in that, but I secretly love all the Lego games. They're so ridiculous and fun. And usually in the Star Wars ones, I try to make some of the Old Republic characters with the modern Lego Star Wars characters, because they always have the create your own characters. So I always make Darth Revan. I always try to make Malak. I try to make Karth and Bastila. I try to make Zalbar, but it's essentially just a Wookiee, which is really sad that it's kind of generic that way. But I usually try to make the characters, and it's a lot of fun. But I'd like to see, a game dedicated just to them, just to the Old Republic era. And there's plenty of characters that they could do it as the more modern ones would have, the 80-plus characters. Like, yeah, your main squad mates are only like 9 or 10 people, but count in the villains, count in the Jedi Masters, count in the Council, count in the side characters that have names. You could throw in Cassius Fett, who we only see as armor. We never see him. I mean, there are characters that you could throw in, and that would be a massive kind of Lego game. And they could really follow the entire plot of the games because they already have it games. Just make it all Lego's version. And I think that would be a really fun, different game to play. So I'd like to see that. That's personally like a pet project. Like, I'd like to see him just take the original engine and just convert it all to Lego. Keep all the voice clips and everything the same. Just make it all Legos and see what happens there. I think it'd be fun. And then, of course, add the custom character stuff. But that's neither here nor there. So those are like my weird Star Wars classic ones that I really want to see done. But I have a couple different ideas that are a little more unique. So one of our other members of the 4Gamers family, Pat, who's been in a few videos. If you've watched any of our 3-gamer hunting party videos, the Left 4 Dead and Marvel Ultimate Alliance, which, Pat, if you're listening, we will do another set of those at some point. It'll probably be after I'm done with school, only because it's not really time to schedule a big recording day. It's usually last minute stuff. Anyway, that was a personal note. So if you've seen that, Pat and I have been friends for years, and we've talked about, kind of having an open world zombie survival game. We talked about it in high school, and I don't know how much he remembers of it, but we said we want it to be a complete sandbox world. Every door is openable. Every building can be torn down, or that can be built, or everything. Like, we really wanted to make it an interactable world that you could go anywhere, do anything with. And I love that idea, and we kind of see parts of that in some of the more modern horror games, but we still don't have that full every door is openable, or every wall can be torn down and buildings can collapse, and we put some thought into it, and I would really like to see that happen at some point in time. So who knows if we ever, 4Gamers ever becomes popular enough and we have money and budget and we know programmers and things like that, who knows? We might try to make a mini beta version of that game. Who knows? You never know what's going to happen with us. So, I mean, that would be one cool thing I'd like to see is that zombie game we came up with. I don't really want to get too much into it, but one of the cool features that we had were like hidden Easter egg items that were references to other characters from video games and movies and horror things, and like subtle references. And if you picked them up, you would there would be like costumes and weapons that exclusively apply to a character. So like you might find a fire flower hidden in a building, and all of a sudden you have Mario's fireball power. Like, that would be a weird random item, but they wouldn't be licensed to the character. They would be homages because, who wants to pay the millions and millions of dollars to have the rights to all the characters we want to use? But that was kind of like our hidden secret idea. And it actually came from the Dead Rising series having the Mega Man armor and Buster. Yeah, the Mega Buster from Dead Rising, only because it's ridiculous and overpowered. That was the same idea, like hide tiny little items all throughout the world that do those things. And I really wanted this, and Pat kind of agreed with me, like be able to set off explosions in a falling down building, and when you set them off, the building actually crumbles and falls. So if you're inside, yeah, you're probably going to not survive. But if you're not inside and there are zombies inside or something, it's a good way to take out a good number. So, I mean, we thought really deeply on what we actually wanted to do with it. So that'd be a cool game. another game that recently Andrew and I have talked about. So if you've been watching our videos on YouTube, you'll have seen we started playing the Telltale series, Jurassic Park, the game. We decided we want to do some of those classic Telltale story games, and we're starting with one of the earliest ones, and that would be the Jurassic Park game. It's not a great game by any standard, but we're enjoying it. We're having fun. And after during a recording session, we kind of talked about a hypothetical Jurassic Park games we want to see. And so we ended the episode without going deeply into mine. And behind the scenes, I told Andrew my idea, and it was like a 10-minute long idea. So I've thought more about it, and I figured, you guys come for the podcast, so you might as well hear it. So I'm not going to give the full 10-minute version, but I'll give you the version that we talked about, Andrew and I, and then I'll tell you about an additional version I thought about, and I think it's really cool. So what I had talked about with Andrew was having a Jurassic Park escape simulator, like a horror simulator, where you play through each of the movies during their crisis mode. So you play Jurassic Park 1, and you are there when Nedry turns off the power, and you are just a maintenance worker or something working on Jurassic Park, and all of a sudden the power is out and you have to escape the island. That is the whole point, is just to escape. So it takes that horror escape survival genre where you don't really have weapons or things like that, and you have to escape. I think it's a pretty good idea. And so we were talking about each level would be this one key moment from the series. So if you were in the Lost World Jurassic Park, it would be after whether you were with the mercenaries that come with InGen, so your camp has been destroyed by releasing the dinosaurs, or it's you're part of the team of researchers and your RVs just went over the cliff. The idea was that, you had to survive and get through, which means you have to go through the long grass with the raptors, which would be the key point of your survival, which of course then in the movie we don't really see any of them surviving, so who knows. But yeah, we were talking about that, and I was like, that'd be really cool, and once you've beaten that, you unlock that game or that movie with those assets and everything, and you can create your own horror escape scenario and either have yourself play it and test it or have other players play it, which I thought was really cool. You can have a custom, I want the big raptor from Jurassic Park 1, and you're trapped in the incubation lab rather than, being trapped in the kitchen with the two raptors. That kind of concept. You could custom make it, which was really cool. And I also said, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom would actually just be, other than the mansion, which would be the final level, there'd be a bonus hidden level called Escape from Mount Sibo, which is the name of the volcano on the island in that movie. The idea would be, you are in Chris Pratt's role and you are running down the mountain away from the lava and from the explosion. And that would literally be all it is. And it would unlock, the volcanic Isla Nublar as a playable island area, and you could set up what dinosaurs are there, things like that. So I thought it was a cool idea, and I think it would be doable. It really would. But I definitely, I want that AI for the game to be very adaptive. I don't want it to be quite as smart as the alien from Alien Isolation, where the alien just kills you the moment anything happens. But I want it pretty high. I want it to be a challenge, especially with the raptors and everything. But on that note, I've also had a conversation with a coworker of mine, and we were talking about when Jurassic World Evolution, the game on the Xbox, PlayStation, all those, when it came out where you were doing a park builder, we both said it would have been cooler if there was a escape at the end. And I thought about it, and that would be really cool. Kind of have a park simulator where you build a Jurassic Park and you put the dinosaurs in and you set things up. And then there would be an emergency protocol feature where you could hit it and something would break down or dinosaurs would get released and you would have to manage your way out of that situation. And I thought probably the best was when you're done with your island and you want to just be completely done with it and start over, have something called the Omega Protocol, where it now puts you in first-person crisis mode, and it is the survival game that I previously talked about. So you would be an administrator in an administrative building needing to get to the extraction area, which you get to set where that is. And, obviously if you set it right next to your building, that's an easy one. But like if you set it, there's the main entrance, and that's where the tram is and where the boats and the helicopters are, and you're halfway across the park, you have to make your way across the park without weapons, surviving all the dinosaurs getting loose. So I think it'd be a really cool thing to do. I think it's also very possible, but I understand, not doing that with a game like Jurassic World Evolution, where you're just making a park builder, a park sim, which is cool. Don't get me wrong, I enjoy the game, but it would be a lot cooler if you had a survival mode where you are just in first-person mode trying to survive. So yeah, those are my Jurassic Park game ideas that are kind of weird and, out there. So I kind of saved this one for last only because, well, you all know who I am by this point. You all know what I'm interested in and whatnot. So I'll be completely straightforward with you. The last game idea that I really have that I'd like to see at some point in time is a Pokemon game. And I know Pokemon is done to death, and any Pokemon fan will kind of be in the same boat with me, or will be in the completely opposite boat. I'd like to see an open world Pokemon game, a non-linear story. It's possible, it's doable. I've actually spent a lot of time figuring out those things. And on one level, I want it to be like Skyrim and Fallout and those kind of Bethesda open world games where, it's dynamic, you can choose how you go about it, things like that, but there's still like a main plot. And I've actually, so what I thought was going to the Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon story where they have Team Rainbow Rocket, which is just Team Rocket's Giovanni taking the leaders of the other enemy forces and making them part of his team. I think that would be the perfect villain for the game series, for the open world one, only because it could be from that universe. It could be the universe where Giovanni gathers these leaders, and then in their home regions, they would be the Team Rocket execs there. And some of their former teammates would be part of their Team Rainbow Rocket, and some of them would be still original team members. So, like, Team Aqua and Team Magma would still have some individuals that are bad guys, but they're not Team Rainbow Rocket, and that kind of thing. I could really talk about this all day, but one of the things I'd like to see is a different way of tackling problems. So you might not have to have a Pokemon with Surf or Strength to do things. You might be able to find more creative ways. Maybe you can swim across a body of water. Maybe you can fly across a body of water. Maybe you get thrown across the water. I don't know. It would support creative ideas for those kinds of things. I don't know. It's just my random thoughts on what I think a cool Pokemon game would be, especially if it's open world. I think one of the cool things they could do is have all the regions available, but lock you into one region wherever you want to start. So you pick where you want to start. You pick the city you want to start in and the region, and you're stuck in that region until you complete the league there. Period. Just leave it at that. Then once you finish, you get to choose what other region you want to go to. And anytime you reach a new region, you have to finish that one before you can move on. I think that'd be a way to lock in the progression so you're not, all of a sudden going from Kanto to Unova, and you do 2 badges in Unova, and you're like, you know what? No, I want to go to Kalos, and you leave. Like, no, that would be too crazy for the game to handle at one time. And I think locking it into specific scenarios and specific situations would ease from a programming stance. I mean, rather than jumping from, okay, read scenario 3B. Okay, that means the next event's going to be 3C, rather than going from there to, oh, no, we went from 3B to 7A. Like, no, that's way too drastic, and I feel like that would ruin the progression of the game. So I feel like you could do it where you have open world, but still lock into some situations until you finish. I think that would be a good idea, but that's just me. Those are my own ruminations and thoughts on an open world Pokemon game. But yeah, I've been working on that idea, and if you want to hear more about it, please, by all means, let me know. I will talk about it at some point. But that touches on what games I really want to see. I want a Xenoverse 3, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, but that's wishful thinking. We'll see if they ever do it, just like Left 4 Dead 3. Who knows? I don't think most companies know how to make a third game. That's just my opinion. But no, yeah, so this was kind of a weird podcast. Last time was a honest and open discussion, and this one was kind of just me rambling about games I want to see made and my ideas for them. Who knows what next time will be? Maybe we'll talk about video game music, and maybe we'll just talk about music in general, because that is something I could talk about for a while. But yeah, so stay tuned. Like I said, you never know what you're going to get on our channel. We kind of do some weird things from here and there, and we'll try to bring back some more of those classics. Again, Pat, we'll do a three gamer hunting party session again. It's just been a little crazy with all of our schedules. But yeah, so again, as we've always say, we're open to suggestions and ideas. If you have an idea of something you want us to do or something to try, please let us know. Leave a comment on the video. Leave a comment on an Instagram post, on our Tumblr, on our Facebook page. I had to think about that for a second. I was going to say, we don't have a Twitter. Yeah, we don't have a Twitter. That'd be weird if we had a Twitter. But yeah, so let us know what you think, what you want us to do, stuff like that. And yeah, we will, like I said, April's a busy month for us, so we're going to try to get some content out during that month. But it probably won't be nearly as much as you've seen up until this point, so there might not be a video every other day like we have been doing consistently. But yeah, just so you know, once we get through April, things will kind of return to somewhat normal, and yeah, I really got nothing else to say, so see you guys next time, and I don't know, stay classy? Nah, stay classy is not good. What's a good sign off? I got it. Until next time, keep strong, keep gaming. Oh god, no, that was terrible. Ignore me. I'm just going to keep rambling until I figure it out. Live long... No, that one's taken by Star Trek. Nope, that's Star Wars. Nope. Yeah, we'll just leave with the more generic. See you guys later. Hope you enjoyed this. Next time, we'll just keep talking... who knows, I might talk about gaming music. That does sound like fun now that I'm thinking about it. But neither here nor there. We'll see you guys next time. Look forward to some videos going up. I know Andrew and I are going to be recording something this coming weekend, so who knows what you're going to see. All right, bye guys.